Okay, so these are the seeds that I planted as a cover crop in the garden. I was doing an experiment. See what type of cover crop I want to plant, what works best. So at the end of the last growing season, I disked everything into the garden, and then I put in these cover crops. So one of the cover crops is this Calypso barley. It's a barley you can plant in fall, and then it'll come up in spring, which I planted a little bit early, I think, for that. And then there's these Austrian peas. There's a tag for that. You'll see how they did in the video. That's what the Austrian peas look like. And then buckwheat. Buckwheat is something, it seems like it has a short season on it, and it matures really fast compared to these other two. So you'll see in the video how things worked out. All right, it's October 18th, and here's how our cover crops are doing. We got the barley. Barley's, oh, it's probably 6 to 8 inches, maybe 10 inches in some areas. It's doing pretty good, except for where the right here, where the deer have nibbled on it. Here's the peas, field peas, doing good too. They are, yeah, they're pretty tall. They're probably 10-inch. At least, maybe a foot in some areas. And the buckwheat. Now we had pretty cold temps last night. I think it got down to about 38. You can see them bees are really working it. I'm hoping to get some seed off of this buckwheat. But it's flowered out full. And some of this is about a foot tall, I'd say. This area here, I didn't plant any buckwheat because I was saving my seed. I went around it with the disc here. I was saving seed on this okras. So, you got to plant okra, you can wait till the pods dry up and take a look in there. All kinds of seeds in there. Probably only need one pod to get enough okra seed to plant. You know, depending on, there's just probably 50 to 100 seeds in each pod. So there's one splitting open right there. But the cover crop's doing good. I was afraid this buckwheat would have killed off. I guess it can take some cold temperatures. Today's a nice sunny day. It's going to get to be about 70. And I would say if it gets below freezing, like if it gets down 30 degrees or something, maybe in the 20s, then I'll probably have a problem. We'll take a look around in here. There is little bees. That kind of looks like a yellow jacket over there. I thought they were honeybees, but they kind of look like yellow jackets. There's some bumblebees over here working that buckwheat flowers. Yeah, I'm really hoping, maybe I'll plant it a little earlier next year. I was hoping to get some seed off of these. Look at how many seeds I would get. I could harvest enough seed to replant like an acre or so. If this all seeds out, probably more than that. Probably have a couple acres worth of seed here. This blooms out, makes seed. I'd say in the next couple weeks, it should make seed if we don't get any below freezing temperatures. All right, here we are about 6 to 8 weeks later on our cover crops. We got the barley. It's growing pretty good. The root structure on that. Not sure if this is gonna stay over winter or not, but today is October, what is it, 28th of October, and we haven't had a killing frost yet, even though the buckwheat kind of looks like it. I think the buckwheat is just seeding out now. You can see there's not many white flowers anymore. Let's take a look at the peas. I think these peas will overwinter. And they're a good 1.5 feet tall. Let's take a look at one here. If I can pull one out. The root's intact. See if they have the, they say they'll grow nodules. If you have the bacteria in your soil, they'll grow a nitrogen fixing nodule on them. And it looks like they do have them. See those little nodules there. So with the peas, you're going to want to, if you want to save the nitrogen into your soil, you're going to want to cut your peas down before they seed out. It looks like it's going to be a while before they seed. Might be another couple weeks, but it's going to be a killing frost pretty soon here, I'd say. Sometime in next month in November. I think we're zone 6 to 7. Because we're actually in zone 7, but because we're in the mountains, it's more like zone 6, maybe 6B. But here's the buckwheat. Let's take a look at the buckwheat real close here. It's definitely seeding now. Get in the light here. See how this little triangular looking seeds. So it's set seed now. This would be a good time to till it in if you don't want the seeds. Probably should have tilled this actually a while ago before it started to set the seed. Maybe 2 weeks ago. After, I think they say after it flowers for a week or two, then go ahead and till it. The bees just love this buckwheat too. What I'm doing here, I'm going to cut some of this down and feed it to the chickens, and then some of it I'm going to wait, let it go to seed, and I'm going to collect the seed. And then after that, whatever's left, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to probably mow it off and let it rot into the ground. But yeah, we're setting seed. I wasn't sure if it was going to set seed because I thought the frost would kill it before it would set seed. But it survived maybe 3 nights we had into the 30s. And it survived that, as long as you don't get as long as you don't get a real hard frost where it gets 20 degrees or so. That's good. Here's our okra plants. We're just saving the seed off of these. And I think this is some kale that survived because I didn't cut down this okra. This too, I believe there's some kale too. I think that's it. So that's the plan. I would say probably the buckwheat is a better cover crop for summer if you're not going to plant anything for about 2 months, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, probably a month and a half. Because then you could till it in before it sets seed. Some beets, because I mowed around. when I prepared the soil with the disc, I went around this area and didn't plant anything here. But, I'm thinking the peas may be my fall cover crop. I may just go with the peas. That's probably going to, improve the soil the most. And with the barley, I just wanted the barley just to grow it, see if it overwinters and makes seed. And then I'll keep the barley and make some beer with it. That's it, guys. That's how the cover crops are doing in the garden. Doing good. All right, it is January 30th. We've had some temperatures that dip down near zero. So here's how the barley's doing. It looks like the tops have died down. In November, December, it started to make seed heads, and that has kind of the tops have died down some. It looks like there's a little green at the bottom still, so I'm hoping this will come back in spring. This is the peas. The peas, I'm not sure if it's partly the deer, I'm sure, partly the temperatures. This was nice and green and lush in here. The deer had been sitting in here and eating the peas and just ate them halfway gone. There's a little bit of green left on them, not much. And then the buckwheat, this is where the buckwheat was, and the buckwheat is totally gone. It has about half rotted down. These are the buckwheat stems. You can see there's probably some seeds on them. Some matured in the seed and some didn't. Like they need to be planted a little earlier if you can mature them. Expect them to mature and get some seed off them, which I was going to do. Collect the seeds off them and then use that to replant more buckwheat. But that's how the ground cover overwintered so far here in end of January.